In the cruel world of animals, battles are more than common. Fierce fights are not only an indicator of their physical strength, but also represent their skills, instincts, and strategy. There is no room for mistakes or weakness in these battles. Speed, grace, and precision are the main weapons of most animals. That's why their fights always look very spectacular. And you will see the most exciting battles right now. Sometimes, an exaggerated opinion of yourself and your talents can play a serious joke on you, so you need to think first. When you responsibly follow the rule of one for all and all for one in life, it becomes much easier and more interesting to solve problems. This race and the jump looked very impressive, however, until the moment when the barking obstacle appeared in the way of the horse.
Come on, Smokey! Good boy! Yee-hoo! Whoa!
No wonder many people say that size is not the main thing. In the past, it was assumed that dogs are the greatest threat to cats. Now I would argue with such a ridiculous statement.
Come on, baby!
In my opinion, this little mouse has well understood one main lesson in life. The best defense is a good offense. Such an interesting and at the same time an extremely unusual scene was filmed by random passers-by in the parking lot. The fight between the animals looked very spectacular. They're so big, yet they are afraid of these tiny creatures. You can immediately see who really wants to live here. As you know, one can always find a way out, even from the most desperate situation. What is the best moment to practice jumping? It's a battle with a snake. And here is another fearless jumper, and its talents and skills would be envied even by any large representative of the feline. This is the very case when you overestimate your skills, while life quickly puts everything in its place. It's not worth joking with a horse unless you want to get hurt by its strong legs. The cat clearly had no need to deal with a horned representative of the fauna. Now it has learned a great lesson. They chose the wrong lunch for themselves. It can even stick in the throat. Even the most professional MMA fighter would envy its grip, fearlessness, and excellent physical form. After translating it into human language, it would be a wonderful knockout in the ring. It is astonishing to watch the fight between two Australian boxers, and it seems that we even have a winner of this sparring. And how can we move on without a fight of real titans? Such a battle usually continues until the very last drop of blood. You can immediately see who claims to be the leader on this farm, and everyone else simply agrees with this fact. Even the most delicious prey can sometimes be inaccessible to a predator. Apparently, someone will have to go to bed with an empty stomach again. When you want to live, you are capable of anything, even if it seems that everything is already over. This ambitious fellow clearly claims to be the main hero of the animal world, and I have to admit, it's really cool. Even small ones can become a real thunderstorm for the predators. All you need is to show your character and ambitions. The big wildcat is clearly discouraged by the behavior of its tiny opponent, and all that remains is for it to be quietly perplexed by what is happening. As we can see, birds also have a hard time in their life. The black, handsome creature definitely did not expect such a development of events, but it had to work hard to deal with the obstinate opponent. Place your bets, gentlemen. Who will defeat whom in this ruthless duel? It's incredibly funny to witness these big wild cats running away from a bullied bird. Do you agree? It is immediately clear that this male knows its worth and will be able to stand up for itself in any situation. It is certainly not afraid to look into the eyes of fear. With such a brave cat, the owners have no need to find a guard dog. This is the case when you were cornered, but suddenly you've got a second wind. After watching this video, there is only one thought in my head: you should never approach or touch unknown objects. Who would have thought that these little fuzzies could have been so fearless and cocky? After such a powerful blow, one of the bullies had to count the stars in their mind. Next time, it'll be smarter. It seems that something in this cat is broken, and now it'll be much more difficult for it to live. Birds of prey are also a great danger for many forest animals, and here is a clear example of this. Even in spite of the complexity of the situation and the possibility of harsh reprisals, this young male still decided to take a chance to escape. And it's not for nothing, because powerful help arrived right away. The predator can be fearless and daring only in those old fairy tales. In reality, everything looks completely different. Everyone defends themselves as best they can, and it doesn't matter if it looks more like an awkward dance, because the main thing is the end result. As you can see, being small does not mean being weak at all. The fighting instincts of this child are developed at the highest level, and it skillfully uses them. What a good warm-up for the big-eared runner. Cats know how to climb even the most unusual objects because there's no punishment for that. Finally, there was someone who decided to change the rules of the game. And this funny battle was captured on camera by zoo visitors, and we must pay tribute to the brave bird who behaved very fearlessly and proudly. Here is another unforeseen outcome of events of a fight between equally unexpected rivals. It's better not to mess with birds. This cat will definitely have something to think about when it's alone somewhere in a secluded place. Do you know that you should not make rash actions towards an opponent who is clearly stronger than you? Otherwise, you may have no chance to leave unnoticed. This couple came up with great entertainment for themselves, and all because no one wants to live a boring life, even animals. Just look at this formidable feathered creature. Having seen such a plumage, I would even be afraid to approach it, not to mention fighting with it. Obviously, they've chosen the wrong opponent. The dogs really risked. In the worst case, the owner would pull out the thorns from their noses and paws for a couple of hours after the fight. And this is not the most pleasant activity. What an unexpected twist! The hippopotamus has become a real guardian angel for this wildebeest caught in the tenacious teeth of a predator. Even similar things can happen in nature. The mother of the warthog did everything possible to scare away the predator and save the life of the baby. The Sea Kingdom can surprise us with a lot of passion and activity. I've always said that only the strongest survive in the wild. The rooster clearly should not have attacked the pigeon, even though it is smaller in size. A brave bird defending its nest was able to give a worthy rebuff to the offender. Now you can see a few unexpected rivals and an unexpected battle, so who will be the winner? For some reason, I'm absolutely sure that the baboon has already regretted 20 times that it decided to invade the territory of two feathered birds. They gave it a decent rebuff. Although the giraffe is big and long-legged, the possession of sharp and strong horns became decisive in this fight. Unfortunately, the snake simply had no chance to survive in such a situation, not to mention such a strong opponent. Fierce battles are always happening between wild horses, and only the owner of the strongest kick can become the winner. It would seem that no one dare to come close to a toothy crocodile, but there are still those who claim it as a delicious lunch in the wild. The wildcat clearly chose the wrong place for itself to fight. In addition, it chose a completely unsuitable potential victim. What a paradox! How can such big and brave animals be afraid of small rodents? Any victim facing two attackers can't hope for something good. It can hope for the better only if it can fight as stubbornly as this cat. There's no need to deal with this feathered creature for no serious reason. Otherwise, a fierce battle will be difficult to avoid. As I said, the rooster is definitely not worth underestimating. Its fearlessness and ability to defend itself are amazing. And even such a dangerous predator as a bear can be absolutely defenseless, especially when it comes to stealing its favorite treat. Some people say one cannot conquer alone, but as you can see, this is a big misconception. Looking at such a battle, we can safely say that two experienced boxers are in front of us. So, who will be the winner? Place your bets. Always remember the following: you should never mess with someone who has two weapons on his head for a fight. You can pay a high price for such carelessness. After watching the fight between these two fighters, I have a headache. And they are really unlucky. Family arguments are always like that. Sometimes it's necessary for the spouses to show each other who is the real owner of the house. Crows are not only one of the smartest birds on Earth, but they can also be very arrogant and aggressive. The cheeky cat decided to practice his fighting skills with the first one who he meets on the way. So, doggo, you'll have to suffer now. Despite the fact that these bees are much smaller than the snake, they can easily sentence it to death with a whole swarm. Animals in the wild can be incredibly dangerous and are ready to fight with their competitor until the last drop of blood. Two enraged animals are locked in the same cage. Once in a while, they have to prove to each other which of them is more important and more serious. The crocodile clearly matched the wrong opponent. After all, the stubborn buffalo was not going to give up the fight. What a tense moment. Even I began to worry when two of the most infamous fighters of the farm came together in a fight. The monkey deliberately and very brazenly tried to disturb the tranquility of a peacefully resting cat, so it had to pay for such impudence. In the world of wildlife, there will always be little room for two males in the same territory, and often animals have to fight for their dominance. In less than a minute, the proud buffalo had to regret provoking its dangerous rival. A real mother will always stand up for its child and protect it from any misfortunes. As you can see, it applies not only to people, but also to the entire animal world. A small octopus turned out to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. As we can witness, a whole flock of hungry fish was already waiting there. What bad luck! This orangutan had to use extreme measures and grab a stick for protection, and all because the otters turned out to be very active. And this fight with a wild cat turned out to be much more dangerous. In the struggle for their prey, two predators were so enraged that even a tree could not stand them. Now they can sort it out already on the ground. This pike invaded a flock of peacefully swimming ducks, quickly did its job, and disappeared again under the water's surface. I feel sad for the baby. This skunk definitely knows the best way to protect itself from predators, and skillfully uses it. This dog barked at the wrong opponent, and it was punished here and now. It is not for nothing that they say little pigeons can carry great messages. Don't put a finger in this little chicken's mouth, otherwise it'll bite off up to the elbow. Usually the horse hits purposefully and very accurately, but the rooster turned out to be much more cunning and resourceful. Perhaps it understands something about boxing techniques. A mother will always stand up for its child, and this applies not only to people, but also to animals. In my opinion, the turtle completely forgot about all the unspoken rules of communication with the king of beasts. What an audacious creature! While choosing the trees to hunt a potential victim and trying to deal with the monkey was definitely a very bad idea for the predator. Despite the seemingly hopeless situation, the brave animal still decided to not give up and demonstrated dexterity, ingenuity, and great willpower. At first glance, these are cute creatures and there's nothing to be scared of. However, they can be quite cruel and evil. The enraged elephant decided to attack the impudent hippopotamus, plunging it into real confusion. Now the second one has only to look for ways to retreat. And this is just another wild cat that made a fatal mistake in choosing a place to eat. As a result, the predator remained hungry and humiliated. Don't you know a lot about honey badgers? The most important thing is that they are absolutely fearless and regularly face the most formidable representatives of our fauna. Do not think that turtles are defenseless and clumsy creatures. As it turns out, they definitely know how to stand up for themselves, so don't worry. This cat endured two persistent dogs for a long time, preventing her from resting. Suddenly, a bright idea came to its head about how to get rid of one of them. I don't even know how the poor lamb could provoke an ostrich, but if the bird is in a rage, someone will definitely have a hard time. Just look at this impudent goose. It can't even choose a proper opponent while waving its wings in a scary manner. It's good when you know for sure that the family will not leave in a difficult moment. In this case, nothing can be scary in life. Somehow, the acquaintance of these two did not work out. The mouse just wanted to find a friend, and the dog turned out to be overly timid and shy. This zebra decided to put the pig in its place when it began to violate the personal boundaries of the animal. And such a hit is the most efficient explanation. You know, something in this cat and mouse relationship has changed dramatically. It's strange, isn't it? A loving mother becomes a ferocious lioness when her children are in danger, and it doesn't matter who your opponent is. That was $1 million hit. I wonder if the dog recovered quickly after such a powerful slap in the face. What do you think? The animal definitely should not have been proud of its horns when it is that weak. Some people say small does not mean weak, and this mischievous cocky crow felt it firsthand. The pelican should have rolled its lunch in breadcrumbs before the meal, but apparently it did not have the desire and time to prepare it. Peregrine falcon swoops into the air with its prey, and when they're already on the ground, the poor guy has practically no chance for salvation. Now we have two more dangerous rivals having a very strange bird dance. The dramatic attack of an impudent seagull on a pigeon occurred in the midst of a weekend. As they say, at least people had something to look at. This white-tailed eagle performed a very smooth rotation in flight, trying to dodge the claws of the common buzzard, that it all looked like a staged and well-rehearsed show. The flock of crows was clearly not up to anything good, but the hawk's calm reaction to all their actions only adds respect to the feathered creature. Do you think the seagulls just decided to practice balancing, or do they perform some special exercise for their strength development? This pelican was very hungry since it decided to swallow a rather large duck. However, it really overestimated its abilities. The aerial combat tactics of this representative of the fauna are at the highest level. The predator attacked the goose right in flight and used a crushing blow to kill it. Such fights between these types of domestic birds are by no means uncommon, and all because each of them does not like when someone tries to dictate new rules. Now you can witness these epic shots of a real predator attacking its potential victim, and there's no chance of salvation. The peacock is much larger than its feathered opponent in size, however, this does not stop the rooster since it is not afraid to attack. The turkey and the peacock clearly had some kind of disagreement between them, so they decided to solve them in the most expected way. The predator does not always win in a fight with its prey. In this case, when the heron was not afraid to show its power and deal with the attacker in a very rude way. The eagle was busy with its business without waiting for any surprise, but the crow decided to take advantage of the situation and moved on to a swift attack. The native bird apparently believed that the magpie would not touch it. As you can see, it waited a few minutes, reached the state of trust, and then dealt a crushing blow. It is better to stay away from the predatory sparrowhawk and not to deal with it under any circumstances. Otherwise, the reckoning will not take long to wait. Apparently, this bird did not even know about such an unspoken rule as you mustn't kick a man when he's down. What a loser. When two proud eagles fight for supremacy in the air, they can be watched forever. The seagull managed not to fall into the clawed paws of hungry eagles several times in a row, and when it finally wanted to exhale with relief, something terrible happened. As you can see, the mute swan wouldn't let anyone swim in its lake at all if it could. After all, it feels like a real king there, and that's why it expels all other creatures from there. This is exactly what a lightning attack and an enchanting fall look like. Someone definitely had a great dinner. The patience of a predator is one of the most important components of victory, and this eagle still managed to snatch its victim out of the water after many unsuccessful attempts. The quirky peacock does everything possible to avoid the attack of two abusers. I have to admit that it has perfect maneuverability. The locked cage did not prevent the eagle from attacking an innocent bird that came to stare at it. As they say, curiosity killed the cat. In order to cope with its prey, a feathered creature had to sweat a lot, but apparently it had something to eat before going to sleep. I think it was one of the easiest hunting options for a large bird. The main thing is to grab your victim tighter with tenacious paws and fly to eat it as soon as possible. Let's start with a very cruel and terrible moment. The leopard attacked the baby zebra and immediately dragged it away from the mother, who rushed to help its child. As soon as it realized that the baby could not be saved, it had to run away. The wild boar shouldn't stay alone under any circumstances. Why? Because a lone animal is easy prey for hungry and unscrupulous predators. Cows only seem stupid and complacent, but if they are really annoyed, they will quickly deal with the offenders to show them their proper place. This lion is apparently not hungry, and it used the bear only to play and show his status. I wonder if these birds didn't have enough space in such a large lake, or is it something more important? What do you think? No, it wasn't a mistake. It's just a kangaroo rat, which was able to jump to a height of up to 3 meters, thanks to which it actually escapes from various predators. This lioness is not afraid of any obstacles when it sees a goal, but in this case, everything turned out to be in vain because the monkey was still able to escape. Even if the fox could not defeat the big dog, it clearly showed that it was a worthy opponent and could become a winner in any other situation. This is really scary and frightening. Horsebite is considered one of the strongest and most dangerous in the animal kingdom. The hyena spotted the young armadillo from afar and without any hesitation rushed at the easy prey and unfortunately overcame the poor thing quickly enough. Even in the animal kingdom, children's fights may look spectacular, but they do not pose a real threat to their lives. Do not give up even when you're surrounded. A huge lizard used all its skills and all kinds of strategies to get out of such an unequal fight between a pack of dogs and it unharmed. In the wild, no one has a chance to make a mistake. This calf only stumbled a bit, and it became a fatal mistake for it because predators have no principles and do not give any mercy. Just look at how this big monkey runs away from a small animal. That's what inner confidence and a bold offensive mean. The lion tried to attack a herd of African buffaloes, but stopped right at the right moment. Why? I think it realized that it was stupid to go alone against such a number of enemies. Going deep was a good idea in the case of kudu because wild dogs are much smaller in size, and therefore it put them in a losing situation, and they left the poor thing alone. It seems that the hippopotamus perceived the African buffalo as a threat in its small pond, and it tried to drive it away. The main weapon of elephants is their tusks. Just imagine the force that they are able to show if the weight of one is around 10 kilograms. Even wild dogs are not particularly strong. They always keep a pack and have an incredible ability to annoy an opponent with their chaotic behavior. By using it, they can win a lot of animal fights. And now, you can witness another case when the lioness will most likely be able to get out of it with virtually no harm. This wildebeest has no chance of salvation because it was spotted by a crocodile. Such a toothy resident of the Amazon grabbed an animal crossing the river and deprived it of access to air by dipping it underwater. And these are very life-affirming shots. You should never give up, even in the face of deadly danger. There is always a chance for salvation. What you see now is quite cruel. Yes, it's the wild world. Tiny creatures have already become strong lions with an irresistible desire to be the alpha of the pride, which means that you need to get rid of the old lion. The lions themselves rarely go hunting, but battles between them are not uncommon. Their inner desire to constantly prove their right to be called alpha is expressed in such frequent fights. Usually, the male kangaroos prefer to fight amongst themselves while trying to prove their supremacy and show strength. Right now, you can witness 3 of them in a zealous struggle. As we all know, there can only be one winner. The yak is a truly ferocious animal up to 4 meters in length and weighing up to 1,000 kilograms. Just imagine the level of noise in the neighborhood when 2 of these heavyweight creatures collide with their horns. The caracal is a stunning, nimble, and dexterous predator. This wildcat waits for the right moment and then suddenly attacks and immobilizes the victim in a matter of seconds. Don't be surprised by the battle of 2 crocodiles. These cold-blooded creatures are the real cannibals. Simple hunger can make them attack each other. This is a very original strategy to fight a predator. Penguins act as if they are one organism. They group together and prefer to fight back while slowly moving into their hideaway. These guys will not leave each other under any circumstances and will stand together until the end. When you're a bull and have a huge heart, you can't be scared even of a crocodile. At the same time, it is better to have a pair of long horns. The leopard wanted to get the duckling for a long time, but the brave creature was not afraid. So, what do you think will happen next? This tiger unexpectedly attacked a family of peacocks. The birds instantly scattered in different directions, and the predator could not catch any of them. And in this case, it looks like the forces of the rivals are equal. It's quite difficult to predict the outcome of this battle. Apparently, the zebra and the horse wanted to fight for the territory and decided to drive each other away. As you can see, the winner is the one who is bigger and stronger. The predatory cat did not expect such a high jump from a seemingly easy prey. The llama is able to jump up to a meter in height and even higher in stressful situations. This rarely happens, but it happens. There may be several reasons for a lioness to attack a lion. It could be a struggle for power, as well as an attempt to protect its offspring. You can't joke with hooves. After such a blow, you may not wake up anymore. All animals are very zealous to protect their offspring and do not allow even harmless animals to approach them. Mothers are ready to protect their cubs, which are not yet adapted to life. Don't underestimate swans. These birds know how to show who is boss here. Who would have thought such a small and completely ordinary crab was able to disorient the great eagle? The bird does not understand what to do and cannot take off. It looks like this little water dweller is able to overcome such a formidable Lord of Heaven. And here again, a small crab gives a worthy rebuff to someone who is bigger and stronger. This gazelle chose the right defense strategy. With the help of its horns, the animal pushed the attackers to the ground and began to drag them along it. It was a real surprise to the wildcats, and they were unable to win this battle. It's incredible. Just take a look at how this eagle elegantly, sharply, quickly, and unexpectedly grabbed the squirrel, which did not have time to hide in the hollow. Now it's clear why these birds are called the Lords of the Sky. The frog struggles to get out of the snake's mouth, but there's no chance for it to save its life. A hungry beast will never let go of the caught prey. A pack of dogs surrounded the alligator. The crocodile does not give up and fights for its life to the last drop of blood. That was unexpected, do you agree? The caracal jumped high enough to grab a passing bird. It can be dangerous on the land as well as in the water. Now you can witness the unique eagle's style. It looks, grabs, and flies away. The tiger decided to test its strength and deal with the bear. However, it was a serious mistake since the bear forced the self-confident predator to run away with all its might. The dog was quietly resting and did not touch anyone, but the cat apparently could not sit still. Everything is obvious in the wild. A tiger is a strong predator and a swan is easy prey. However, everything changes in captivity. The stupidity of the duel of these two rams is hidden in the fact that they decided to compete on a steep mountainside. I'm amazed by this eternal desire of males to prove something to someone. This hot duel between two bulls looks epic. Neither male is going to give up, and both are ready to go to the victorious end. Given the powerful physique and strong character of both of them, it is difficult to predict the outcome of the battle. The difficulty of the battle with the snake lies in the fact that this cold-blooded animal is very flexible and can confuse the opponents with a few cunning movements. There's a reason why animals prefer to stay in large herds or families. Such a lifestyle allows one to save their own life much longer than wandering alone. The eagle catches fish using its sharp claws and fast wings. This predator prefers to search for its victims hovering in the sky, and then sharply dives down and grabs the victim with its claws. After it can eat right away, or it can even take it to the nest. This epic battle of eagles unfolded in the heavenly expanses. This is truly an exciting sight. Birds correctly use their sharp claws, powerful wings, and strong beaks. Most likely, the reason for such a fierce battle is food. The dogs underestimated the size of the opponent and attacked a large horse, which quickly put them in place with a strong kick of its hoof. Swans are very dominant birds. They do not tolerate other birds on their territory and always try to get rid of them. The leopard can reach speeds of up to 80 kilometers per hour, which allows the predator to overtake its prey in almost 100 cases out of 100. Hyenas rarely attack each other, but hunger and the desire for primacy sometimes make such clashes possible. If there's a conflict, one can expect only aggression and cruelty. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. We're waiting for you in the comments below to discuss the most interesting videos of this episode.